Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Hub. Thank you for coming tonight. I am not Richard England. Just want to clear that up right now. Richard's taking one of his really rare breaks on music nights at the Hub. So, I'm David Mabe. I've been a volunteer here at the Hub for almost 9 years, along with my wife Mary, who's sitting over here. The Hub just had his 10th birthday last week, and thank you. Frank, who's making the music for us tonight, he's also been here as an artist at the Hub for about 9 years too. I don't know, you're probably familiar with some of Frank's artwork. If you come in the front door, his studio is the first one on the right, and just about any time the Hub's open, if you come by here, you get a good chance of seeing Frank working in there. He's a working fool, that's what I say. Some of his art's on display, I think, at the airport. You've got a piece on display at the Daytona Beach Airport now. There's still one in the City Hall. Yeah, it's a big one. So, Frank, you may not know that Frank was a good musician as well. Frank started taking music when he was a child and ended up falling in love with the saxophone and big band music and jazz music. And so all the way through school and through college, he played the saxophone, played in different bands and jazz bands and one thing and another. When he graduated from college, Uncle Sam came calling, so Frank found himself in the Marine Corps. And he was at Paris Island with the 1st Marine Division undergoing his training. And somebody in the Marine Corps said, you know, we need a sax player in the 1st Marine Division band. Anybody know a sax player? Right there. So Frank ended up playing in the 1st Marine Division band for his time in the Marine Corps. Traveled all over the place doing that. This is the 7th annual Frank Ferrante, the Joy of Sax concert to fund the children's programs here at the Hub. I can tell you, I know Frank practices for a long time getting ready for this. So it's good. So the Hub's got about at least 3 different children's and students programs, and we're about to ratchet things up a little more than that. So this is a good time for this. We appreciate you all showing up to fund this. See if I've forgotten anything here. This is the American Songbook that Frank's going to do tonight, which is jazz and big band stuff. A couple of housekeeping items. If you need to go to the restrooms, just go like you're going out the back door, only don't go out the back door. Turn left for the men's room and right for the ladies' room. The bar is open back in the Founders Gallery. We'll be open through the performance. We've got wine, beer, and a few snacks there that are donated by Publix for all these music events. We really appreciate that. So, without further ado, my friend Frank Ferrante.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. You know, we have to stop meeting like this because it's kind of nervous. It's stressful. So this is going to be my last concert. So Mary and David.
Says that every year.
I have it in writing. So Mary and David, thank you so much for sponsoring tonight. And there's a guy, I know he couldn't make it tonight, but I really have to thank him. His name is Greg Flynn. So about 9 months ago, I went over to Greg Flynn's studio with a stack of music about like this. And I said, Greg, I need 1 song out of this CD. I need 2 songs out of this, so, and so forth and so on. And he downloaded all that music into his system. And then he was able to make it loud and soft, whatever the hell he did. And eventually it wound up in here. So without Greg, there's no concert tonight. So thank you so much, Greg Flynn. And I have to thank you, my supporters. It's just absolutely wonderful. So this is my 7th concert, and I have to tell you that this thing has been very, very dear to my heart. Kids, why couldn't we raise money for any other services but for kids? So I really feel privileged to be up here tonight. Now, the thing is that I gave you a little thank you, And the kids gave me a little thank you, and I actually signed my thank you to you, and I felt, I might as well sign it, 20 years from now, when I'm a sack of fertilizer at Home Depot. That little piece of paper is going to be probably worth about $1.37. But I want one more thing of you tonight, please. Right by the door, you'll see a plastic box. And the plastic box has a slit on the top. If you would please, either at intermission or as you're going out the door, if you would put $1 in that box, we have about 50 people here, that's another $50 for these kids. So that would be absolutely wonderful. Now, if you can afford a little bit more, that would be absolutely terrific. If you put over a 20 in, come and see me next week at my studio, and I'll give you the biggest hug you've ever gotten in your life. All right, let's go to work. So a lot of people have heard my story, and I'll now repeat it. When I was 9 years old, a really good friend of my father's came over for dinner one night. And when you're 9 years old, you're not really part of the conversation. So I was just sitting at the table feeding my face. But all of a sudden, my friend said to my parents that there was a dance and he invited both of them to go to that dance because his band was playing. And he played the saxophone. So boing, all of a sudden, I got a lot of energy happening there. So I played in, and I don't know how my parents scraped up $50 in those days, because that was a lot of money. And they bought me a really, really old beat-up saxophone, and I was the happiest kid in the world. So I played in grammar school band, I played in junior high school band, in senior high school band, in college band, and in Marine Corps band. So when I was in the Marine Corps, I was stationed with Davidson over in Parris Island. And our main duty, we were flying all over the United States playing, but our main duty on base was to play the 2 or 3 graduations a week. And listen, graduation in the Marine Corps is a really, really big thing. And we really earned it. So, and when I wasn't doing that, we were always practicing for the next event. And either we would, fly someplace and play in a parade or have a concert someplace. But we also had a really decent 16-piece jazz band, big band. And there's one event that we played at that, I tell you, I think about this a lot. And even though it was 55 years ago, it feels like last week. And it was just a phenomenal experience. So we practiced for weeks, and then we jumped on a plane and we flew down to Miami. And we provided all of the music for the 1st Marine Division Gala. 300 people, Fontainebleau Hotel, and it was just a blast. This is one of the songs we played that night. Actually, we played it more than once because it is Saturday night. had a can of minestrone soup. And you read what's in the minestrone soup, and there's almost a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a lot of things. I feel like I'm up here making a big bowl of minestrone soup. Because I have 4 different saxophones. I have music for each of the saxophones. A little spice of a little ballad, rumba, bossa nova, Latin swing and smooth jazz. And here's my main ingredients. These aren't all of my ingredients, but these are my main ingredients. Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, Antonio Carlos Jobim, Henry Mancini, Stan Getz, George Gershwin, Glenn Miller, Dion Washington, Jimmy Dorsey, Richard Rogers, Johnny Mercer, and Burt Bacharach. As my grandmother would say, Frankie, that's a nice soup. So I don't know if you remember this, but it was around 1990. I had just started Frank Ferrante Marketing Communications Inc. It was a little marketing communications company. So I know exactly where I was when this event took place. It was a musical event. So I'm in my office, sucking on a cigarette, or sometimes a cigar. And of course, the radio was always on. And Natalie Cole starts singing one of her father's great songs, Unforgettable. And all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, Nat King Cole starts singing with her. You know, how the hell is that possible? Nat King Cole's been dead for 30 years. Ah, technology. So what they did, we were able to take one track and superimpose it on another track, and then people were able to sing without actually being together. Sinatra went on and produced Duets 1 album, Duets 2 album, and then Tony Bennett went out, and it was just a great thing. Here's Unforgettable. Sorry, I have to cut it right there because it'll go on for another 35 minutes. And unfortunately, there's only 4 songs like this. So that's unforgivable. Okay, the next song is a rumba. It's a slow rumba, a Cole Porter slow rumba. But what I want to do is I want to kind of set the stage for the song. And I might even do a little virtual painting for you. So just bear with me, and you have to use your imagination. So just think it's the end of World War II. Maybe it's 1948, 49, Havana, Cuba. And you're walking along, it's very late, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden, it starts to rain. So you dash into the first little inn. So here's the painting. The very dimly lit, smoke-filled inn. It has a couple of people in a band playing, and then there's only one couple on the dance floor. and you're doing this rumba. Now, when I was 8 years old, don't ask me what I had for breakfast because I can't remember what I had. But I remember 7 and 8. I know I wasn't 9 because we moved when I was 9. So when I was 8 years old, 7 and 8, my parents used to take me to the Paramount Theater in New Jersey. Now, the Paramount Theater, let me tell you about the Paramount Theater. The Paramount Theater was a really old vaudeville theater. It had a huge stage. And then it had these really, really thick curtains, and the old man, would pull a cord, and the curtains would go. So, but they would take me there because the big bands were playing there. And because it was vaudeville, what they had was something really, really unique. The band would start playing, the curtains would open, and the stage would come up with this band screaming away. And I, as a little 8-year-old, I thought it was absolutely heaven. So I saw Jimmy Dorsey and Kate Starr. I saw those people there. I saw Benny Goodman and his band. And I saw this band that was my father's absolutely favorite. That's Duke Ellington. He loved the Duke Ellington sound. So I'm going to, this is for my dad. The next song is for my dad. Sophisticated Lady.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Done it all. Ellington, jazz, and just
1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
I am a lot more comfortable with a paintbrush in my hand. So, someone asked me, who wasn't this concert, but a previous concert, why do you do this? So, you know, I have a studio right there when you walk in, and you know, I see mostly everyone who walks into this place. I also see a whole bunch of kids come in here. A lot of them needed kids. And, you know, and I always wanted to try to do something for these kids, and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't teach, because I could never do that. So I said to myself, you know, I used to play the saxophone. Here's the problem. When I left the Corps in 1968, I sold everything. And I hadn't touched the saxophone in almost 50 years. So I had to go out and I had to buy, these are student grade instruments. And so instead of being up here with an $8,000 saxophone, I'm up here with an $800 saxophone. So, I mean, these are instruments that kids play in a band in grammar school or whatever. But it works, so it does work. And that's the reason why I do this, is really for the kids. So here's a really old song. It's funny, I'm glued and hooked onto music choice on the TV, because there's such wonderful, wonderful songs. And I heard this recently. I hadn't heard it for a long time. It's I Cover the Waterfront.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I cover the waterfront, mixed up with, remember Marlon Brando on the waterfront? Yeah, I always get mixed up. All right. So when we were rehearsing, when the core band was rehearsing to go down to Miami, a really good friend of the band director, Lieutenant Black, it was a major. He was a pilot, fighter pilot, jet fighter pilot, and he was in Vietnam. He had just gotten back from Vietnam. And this guy had a really, really good Sinatra sounding sound. voice. So he rehearsed with us, and then we brought him to Miami. He was a big hit down there. He sang a lot of great songs with the band. This is one of the songs he sang, The Tender Trap. So when I was a little kid growing up, and I just got involved with art, and I didn't know, one end of the brush from the other, not the broom either. So I started to look at artists, and I really, really loved Monet's work. And I wanted to grow up to be a Monet painter. I want to paint just like Monet. And you go to when you go to the museum, you know, there's a dozen paintings, and you can just boom, there's the Monet, the lighting and the color and the composition. It was just absolutely beautiful. Likewise, when I was a kid growing up playing the saxophone, and I always had the music, always had the radio on. All of a sudden, you know, Stan Getz would come on, and he was such a wonderful, wonderful saxophone player. And Stan Getz's nickname was the Sound. So here is the noise trying to play the sound. Oh, and this is Henry Mancini, Baja.
One, two, 1, 2, 3.
understand it. Here's a flow of saying it. What's new?
1, 2, 3, and 4.
So I have an announcement to make. No, I'm not getting married. I'm publishing a book. Yeah, we've been working on this for almost 3 years now. I think it's like 85% finished. So about 80%, 80 of my paintings are in here. And it starts in New Jersey. There's a lot of snow scenes. It works its way south, and there's a lot of Florida paintings in it. So, and I think the publisher's here. Where's the publisher? Publisher, yay, Gary. The publisher's here. Gary Bowman is here. And the editor should be here. Where's the editor? Gene Mayo? Yay, editor. Here's the editor. And the designer, I'm not sure if Leslie Holland is here. Leslie, is Leslie Holland here? No. Leslie's doing just a phenomenal
She's home
job.
working on the book.
Yeah, she's doing a phenomenal job designing this book. So I'm really, really excited. So I would say June, July, we have to have a book signing here at the Hub. And then it'll also be available on Amazon. And it'll also be available on chbbooks.com. So I'm sorry, just give a little plug. So this is a soprano saxophone. I call this squeaky because it has a tendency to really get squeaky. So this is soprano. So what I wanted to do tonight, this is a soprano saxophone, and then there's the alto saxophone, and then the tenor saxophone, and then the monster, which is the baritone saxophone. So this song really needs no introduction. See if you recognize it. I can get squeaky to work. So the next song is a huggy song. So let me tell you what a huggy song is. So when I was in the Corps, and I wasn't flying all over the place, it was like on Friday nights, Saturday nights or so, I was like in a 4-piece, 5-piece band. And we would play the NCO clubs and the Officers Club out in Hilton Head Island in Beaufort, South Carolina. And in those days, it seemed like all the clubs had a stage. So I was always elevated looking down on everyone. Or they had a riser or something. I always remember looking down at everyone. And and the layout was pretty much the same. A little dance floor, then the guys were around smoking like crazy, drinking beer. And then all the way in the back, there were 2 girls sitting at that table, and then 3 girls all the way in the back at that table, and then 2 girls all the way on this table. So every once in a while, we would come up and, hey, it's time for a huggy song. And sure enough, as soon as we started playing a slow song, the guys would scatter like cockroaches, you know. And then so it was always the same way. So this is the huggy song. This is Autumn in New York. Carlos Jobim. This is one of, he's such a wonderful, wonderful composer. He and Sinatra put a great album out, and I play it in my studio often in the CD. So this is one of his, I think, one of his most popular songs. And this is The Girl from Ipanema. So we're going to take a break, but before we take a break, I got a story to tell you. Another story. When I was 15 years old, yes, I used to be 15 years old. When I was 15 years old, one of the guys in my high school decided to start a big band, a teenage big band. Out of 16 of us, I think, three of them had their driver's license. So we were pretty young. But I came from a really good music area. And the guys were fairly decent musicians, even at 15. So our parents bought us tuxedos. And so we looked the part, and we made our own music stands, and the Sultans of Swing. So I don't remember this guy's name, but let's just say his name was Jack. So Jack was responsible for getting us gigs, and he was very good at it. So the first thing you do when you have a band is you have to make a demo record. So he made a demo record, and he took that record around, and he got us jobs all over the place. I mean, it was just really remarkable. We played at let's see, we're senior proms. There were a summer club. We played at the summer club. We played at the golf dinner affair at the golf club. And one day he came and he says, "Listen, I got us a gig at the Paramount Theater." I got chills just thinking. At the Paramount Theater. So the Paramount Theater was really, really excited. I mean, we were in the newspaper, we were on the radio, they promoted us like crazy. And it was a Saturday afternoon gig, Manhattan event, matinee event, I'm sorry. So, and there I was at 15 years old, sitting on that stage and thinking back when I was 8 years old, Tommy Dorsey and Jimmy Dorsey and Benny Goodman. So it was just a remarkable thing. And of course, the band started playing, and the curtains opened up, and up came the band, and it was packed. Mostly the kids, but our mothers and our fathers and our brothers and our uncles and our cousins, and everyone was there. But we had a really, really good time. It was unbelievable. So the last time I had a concert, my son was here. He's got a great voice, and he sang some Frank Sinatra for us. This time I have another surprise guest. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sultans of Swing.
In the famous style of the late Glenn Miller, the Sultans' next play, In the Mood.
It's almost finished. outside for a couple of teammates. We're gonna take a 15-minute break. Thank you. Please put your dollar in the little box. Thank you.